Hi, hello, and how are you? My name is Asparagusisreading, and this is my YouTube channel, Asparagusisreading. And today, as you haven't already seen the title of the thumbnail, I'm going to be talking about my March TBR. Now, I promised myself that I would go easy in March and April so that I can focus on school, because this is the semester that's crucial. Like, if I fail, my graduation date could change, because I'm doing a lot of required this semester. In the next couple of semesters, there's going to be a lot of electives to get up to that credit hour requirement. Joke's on me, because I completely forgot about the different readathons and buddy reads and 24-hour things going on in March. Like, I knew they were coming, but I forgot they were in March. And I started seeing all the announcement videos pop up, and now I'm sweating. So as I discuss each of these books, I will explain what readathon, what event, what buddy read, whatever it is that I'm going to be reading them for. So without further ado, let's just dive right in. So I'm going to try to go in order of the events. Actually, no, I'm going to try to go in order of how I'm reading them. That might be a little easier. The very first two books that I would like to finish in March is Local Women Missing by Mary Kubica and The Family Game by Catherine Steadman. Both of these are adult mystery thrillers. I've really been into that genre recently, and I'd like to continue reading in that genre. I know quite a few people that I follow and watch have read these two, so that's really the main reason why I picked them up. I don't really know a lot about them in terms of like description. For The Family Game, I've heard it been compared to the movie Ready or Not, and I really enjoyed that movie. And according to the description, that's kind of what the book is about. So we have Harriet, who is recently newly engaged to Edward, who's the heir to an extremely powerful family, and he has been trying to sever ties with them. But of course, you know, once a marriage happens, you're probably going to see them again whether you want to or not. And so as she's slowly drawn into their world, into that lavish life, she's starting to learn more about their secrets. I think she finds like a record tape, like a cassette tape, and when she starts listening to it, she finds out that it's not his next book that this person is working on. It's actually a confession about the things that the family has done. And I think it's a confession to some crimes, which I'm assuming involves some kind of murder. I'm not entirely sure what the exact game is, but just because it's compared to Ready or Not, I'm here for it. For Local Women Missing, again, this is a book I've heard people really enjoyed. This is about Shelby goes missing first, then one other woman named Meredith, then a child, Delilah, goes missing within the same area, I think like a couple blocks of each other, but I don't think it's the same year, I'm not entirely sure. And so now this community is like, okay, what's going on? Multiple women are being kidnapped, that's what we assume, and missing from the same area, around the same age. They're all women. What's happening? Are these connected? Like, should we be concerned? Should we be doing a little more? Should we be staying in the house? And I think like 11, 12, 13 years later, one of the missing women returns, and so everyone was like, what happened? Where you been? What's going on? Where's the other ones? Why are you here? Why are they not here? And so obviously there's the whole thing of unraveling where she's been and what's happened, where the other ones are, if there's any connection to them. But I'm excited to read this because I've heard good things. So those are the first two I want to read in March. They're not really tied to any readathon or anything. They just came in through Libby earlier than I expected, and they're due by the end of the first week of March, so I'm hoping to get that done within those first few days. So right after that, or maybe around the same time as I'm reading that, the Let's Get Graphic 24-hour readathon is happening. So Let's Get Graphic is a 24-hour readathon hosted by Lavender Mud, aka Gwen, Ponytails and Paperbacks, and A Book Like You. Basically just 24 hours to read any manga, comic books, or graphic novels that you really want to read. There are some regular reading prompts and photo prompts. I did not know about this until like 2 days ago, so I would like to participate in that. As of right now, I think my main goal is to read all of the unread manga that I have on my shelf, which is Fairy Tail 1 through 3 and then Tokyo Ghoul #1. I do have Attack on Titan, but I don't have them in order, so I'm not going to read those unless my library has the missing ones. And then other than that, I probably just browse my library and see what available graphic novels that they have and see if I can complete the prompts. But for right now, these are my main ones, just because that depends on if I finish the 2 thrillers or not. After that, I have like a week. That is actually the week that I go back to school that week I will probably either take it easy, not read, or I'm going to start books for the Backlist Readathon early. So the Backlist Readathon is a readathon to read books on your backlist, basically books on your TBR or books that have been released before 2022. I am a co-host with Jackie, Kat, and Spencer. Again, links, information down below. This readathon is a week long. It is going to be from March 12th to March 18th. You can start whatever time in your time zone. There are quite a few prompts for this. I'm not going to go a lot into my TBR for that and all that because I already have a video for that. Again, links down below. But yeah, that second week is very free in terms of reading. March 12th to 18th, Backlist. That is my priority. Then the following week on the 19th, I'm going to be attending a Zoom event hosted by Chicklitstheshit on Instagram. She does a lot of like romance, buddy reads, and book clubs, and then many times you can do Zoom events with her, everyone else in the club, and the author. And so on the 19th, there's an event with her and the author Alexis Daria for Take the Lead that has recently released. I have already read that last year, so I'm good on that. But I will be attending that. If anything, I might do a quick little I read a summary so I can get my memory ready, get my questions ready. So for school, I have required readings. So during the free week where I'm doing registration, Backlist, and the Take the Lead week, I need to be reading The Secret Garden and Good Kings, Bad Kings. Secret Garden is basically about a girl whose parents pass away. She goes live with her uncle, but her uncle is kind of reclusive, stays in his bedroom. And so while she's kind of trying to entertain herself, explore the house, she finds this secret garden, and she starts to explore all the different magical elements and different things going on in that garden, and how there might be people in there. I'm not really sure if there are people in there. I read this when I was 2. Okay, 2 might be an exaggeration, but 6. I don't remember. So I'm gonna be rereading that. Good Kings, Bad Kings, if I remember correctly, is about a bunch of different disabled people going to this facility for care, and how that could possibly help or not help them. That's how my teacher described it. I'm very curious how that's going to work, just because I feel like for some disabilities that is not the greatest thing. They need a little more flexibility, a little more freedom. Obviously, you would assume the treatment center is very well versed in this and knows what they're doing, but also I just feel like for some people that may not be the best option for them. So I don't know. I guess we'll find out when I finally read that. There's another book club that's going on the entirety of March. That is the Story Continues book club hosted by Paige. So this is a book club to do retellings and fan fiction and books inspired by something else. So for March, we're going to be reading Stone Blind, which is a Medusa retelling. Basically, the story is about Medusa, who was assaulted. Instead of taking it on him, she takes it out on a girl who was in the building, I think. And she ends up getting cursed with, Snakehead. And she goes to be angry and solitude and isolate herself. And someone decides to go in there and try to find and kill her because they need a head of a Gorgon. I like Medusa, and I'm very excited to read this with the book club. I have it on Libby. As of right now, it doesn't look like it's going to come in March. If it does, it might come the very last week. Candy Steiner, an author I absolutely love, is a romance author. And on her Candyland Facebook group, she has decided to do book discussions each month on her books. I didn't go to the first one because I haven't read it yet, but for March, they're going to be doing one for On the Way to You, which is a road trip romance with a amputee female main character. And I've already read that. I really enjoyed that. And so I want to attend that event. I may or may not be rereading the book. If anything, I might do a skim through to kind of refresh my memory before the event. Those last 2 weeks are pretty free. There's no readathons going on those last 2 weeks of March. Everything else I'm going to be reading is through Libby. The first one is Salt and Sugar. This I will be reading as part of the Buzzword Readathon, which is a reading challenge all year long. I only got it just because of that, because it fits one of those prompts. This is basically about 2 families in 2 rival bakeries whose bakeries are starting to really struggle to keep their doors open and continue getting business, because recently a new mainstream big chain restaurant / bakery has opened up. And so these 2 teenagers and these rival families have decided to work together, no matter how much hate their family has had for generations, to try and save their bakeries and compete with this bigger chain. and obviously there's going to be some romance involved. This sounds very similar to many other books I've already read, so I'm expecting to enjoy it because I've already read those and I enjoyed those. However, I feel like this could also feel overdone, and I could also feel a little bored just because I've already read it before. But I don't know, we'll see. I'm excited, but I'm also nervous. The next one is The Bodyguard, also on Libby. This is about a woman who's kind of just in a hot mess place in her life, losing her house, lost her job, no relationship, no money, everything's just going downhill for her. And she gets this new job to be a bodyguard for this celebrity. So this celebrity is very like isolated, very alone usually, kind of keeps himself, does his job, goes away. But he recently has had a stalker who's kind of been increasingly more dangerous and has had access to his home recently, so he decided to hire this bodyguard to kind of help him out with that. And so I think it's going to be like forced proximity, bodyguard, celebrity romance. I don't know what else. I've heard good things. This is also an author that I am not familiar with, so I'm excited to read this. However, I'm nervous because I heard compared to Emily Henry. I don't like Emily Henry's books. They never really worked well with me, so this is like Emily Henry. I'm not I'm not excited for this one. Was there any more books? I think that might be it. I went through that a lot faster than I thought I was. Oh wow, I think I'm done. I thought there was another book. Well, okay. Let me know if you're gonna be reading any of these books or if you have read them in the past, maybe what your thoughts are. Oh, what books your buddy reads, readathons, whatever you're gonna be participating in March, because I'm very curious to see what everyone's doing. It's very like fun watching everyone's TBR and they're like, oh, I'm in this readathon, or I'm in this book club, or I'm doing this, and I've seen how they try to fit the prompts or like overlap or whatever. Like it just feels like math. Is that right? Like it feels like math kind of sometimes. I don't know. Trying to fit things here and make it make sense. Anyways, with that being said, drop a March feels very green. I don't know why. March is giving green. So drop a green emoji if you made it down this far. And have a good day, good night, good evening, good morning, whatever time it is where you are. And I'll see you in the next one.